Today we're going to be talking about the next skate shoe that I'll be skating. This is the Etnies Snake. So the Etnies Snake comes out in 3 different colorways. We have this brown colorway, which I'll be currently skating. We have a black and white, and we have basically an all white. I chose this colorway because 1, it's a little bit dusty in Arizona, and 2, I just like this mixture of colors. It gives me like a mocha coffee type of vibe. So for me, this is just the perfect skate shoe for me to try it out, especially with a shoe that I haven't tried before. I normally don't like to try out a shoe for the first time in black and white unless it's all that shoe offers and I really want to try out that shoe. Normally when there's like a type of funky color or even like a more neutral type of color like this, I gravitate towards these, but it's a little different at the same time as well than just black on white or black on black or white on black or white on white. So I grabbed these guys, hyped to have them. Let's talk about what makes this shoe what it is. So this is a cupsole Etnies skateboarding shoe that was originally made in 1996, but is now recreated for today's standard of skateboarding. This has 3 different levels of material on the upper. On the toe box, going all the way around, you have these different panels of suede that make your upper layer. I wanted to call this a flick screen at first, but this goes so much further back in your ollie area, I just want to call it a upper suede level. And backed by that, you have a deeper level of suede on this colorway, whereas on the black and white, it's mesh, and on the all white, I also believe it's mesh as well. I'm sorry, on the black and white, it's canvas, on the white pair, it's mesh. But for this pair, it's backed by more suede going around the entire vamp of the shoe, going around the entire upper of the shoe. After that, we have an upper layer of canvas that's gonna cover your laces, and then a little bit of mesh at the top here to give you breathability, and then canvas at the very top with that nice smiley emblem, which I think is actually pretty sick. There's not really much information on the shoe, so I wasn't able to figure out what type of sole Etnies is using here, but I know it's not Michelin because Etnies normally puts Michelin on the soles that are made with the Etnies Michelin collaboration. But this is going to be a regular Etnies cupsole sole. You have deeper grooves towards the toes of your shoes to add durability. You have deeper grooves towards the heel to give you grip. And in the middle, you have different types of flex and tread patterns to give you still movability in the shoe while also maintaining decent grip. When I rub my hands against it, it is a little bit sticky, so I imagine that this grip will actually be pretty solid. Now, you don't have tongue setting straps in this shoe, but the tongue is made so big that I imagine that you won't have the tongue flipping over to one side or the other. So I'm honestly hyped on that. Overall, I'm just glad that this is a regular cupsole construction because the insole that is in here is the STI Etnies Level 1 Comfort insole. It's more so like using an ortholite footbed because they believe that the sole itself and the midsole is enough impact protection for you. But if you wanted to remove these, it is only glued down on the heel. So if you peel it up, you should be able to put whatever insole you want in here to replace these insoles. We're gonna figure out these standard insoles are gonna be enough for me. So we're gonna take these to Perry, which isn't really an impact type of skate park. I like to break in new stuff there, and I've been wanting to skate Perry for a little second now. Again, I always like those little spurts of being able to skate the box and the rail and all that stuff and brush up on my game. So I will catch you guys at Perry Skate Park where we'll be skating these shoes for the first time, and I will give you guys my official first impressions on how the shoe skates, and that's it. Catch you guys there.
Pragmatically approach, they all warm buffeted. Fraggle rock, we get it in where the Muppets is. They play gorgs, we ball beyond Borg. We are what we are, entrenched in our hordes. We live where we comfy. Make believe that we live in bigger lives, but we love our little pumpkins. Lay up lines with the lies, no dunking. They don't like stunts, cause the stunts are sculpted. Nope.
Alright, so I've been skating the Etnies Snake for about 2 weeks now, and I will say I'm a little bit surprised about how the sole acted. With this cupsole shoe, it actually does do its job. I think it takes its impact pretty decently. I did replace the insole that was in here. The stage 1 STI insole just for me wasn't enough. But when I put a 5mm footprint insole in here, I was like, this is perfect. Good board feel, good impact protection, and the sole definitely still does its job. It was just a little bit more comfortable for me. The sole of the shoe though, which is where my issue lays, is that I found that this sole wasn't as grippy as other Etnies shoes I've skated in the past. Now I've skated the Joslin 1s and I've skated the Maranas, and both of those use the Michelin sole. So I think that I got a little too used to the fact that the Michelin sole is not only really grippy, but really durable and flexible. And this sole is not really grippy. Right here in the forefoot, right where it starts using that triangle design to give you more flexibility in the toe, I found that this area right here left me a little bit too slippery around the grip tape. So when I'm skating and I'm shifting my foot around, it's easier to shift my foot around, but it also is a lot easier for me to slip off of the board on the forefoot. And I was slipping around the park as I was pushing because the toe grip, but the forefoot, like right here in like the palm area, the forefoot was not gripping. I thought that this mid layer of suede was gonna go all the way down into the shoe like it was projected to, but it turns out that it actually meets this upper layer at the 3-piece stitching. So when you tear through that 3-piece stitching, you can see that there's material going down there, but it's not this suede. So this material seems to be backed by some form of like flick screen, maybe a small layer of rubber, so it doesn't like make your foot uncomfortable or make it unbelievably hot or make the shoe feel extra heavy. But I feel like if they just put this layer of suede further down into the sole, then put this upper layer on top of that, then it would just be a better shoe overall, and I think they wouldn't even have to worry about rubber. One other thing about this shoe I will say is that it's not a very breathable shoe. Now I live in Arizona, and Arizona is one of the hottest states in the United States, but with all the layers of suede for this specific pair and only the upper being made of canvas and only half of the tongue being made of mesh, and there's no other perforation holes on the shoe, definitely gets hot in here. It doesn't matter if the inside is made of mesh. The inside being made of mesh is so that if your foot gets sweaty, it doesn't stain the shoe and leave the shoe extra floppy in those areas. But for the outside not having any perforation holes, it does make it a lot harder of a shoe. So I would say proceed with caution if you're somebody whose feet get sweaty a lot, whose feet overheat, or just gets uncomfortable when your feet are too hot. If you live in Arizona, you're screwed either way, but that is something to look out for when it comes to this shoe. Now the white model does have actual mesh along the mid layer, but do note that that mesh will most likely get torn with certain tricks that you do, especially being that it doesn't go all the way down into the shoe, which since it's mesh, it wouldn't matter if it went all the way down into the shoe, but that shoe is the most breathable one of the Snakes. Overall, I think that the shoe is pretty mid-tier. It's not like the most insane shoe because the Etnies Jocelyn is literally the best shoe you can get from Etnies for sure, and then the Maranas are a very close second, and all the other shoes after that I wouldn't say are bad, but they are either close to those or a mid-tier shoe. I haven't really skated a shoe from Etnies that was actually bad or less than a 6. So with that, my grade on this shoe is a 7. I think if it used a better insole, like the insoles that go with the Jocelyn's or the Maranas, with this shoe just on stock, you wouldn't have to replace the insoles at all. And I think if the sole here, if that zigzag tread pattern just went all the way down to where you start seeing the letters for Etnies, then it'd be the perfect outsole and would give you a lot more grip. Overall, I do think this is a good cupsole shoe though. If you're looking for a cupsole shoe that is under $100, that is definitely one of them. And it skates a lot like the Etnies Veer, in my opinion. I feel like the feeling is about the same. The way it skates, the durability is probably close to it. And overall, it's actually a pretty cool style of shoe. I think the only other thing I would do about this shoe is I probably would have connected this canvas piece to the toe here, but that's just me being picky. I think that this is a nice 7. I think the Jocelyn's are a solid 9, so that's just the comparability between the Jocelyn and the Snake. That's all I got for you guys. If you enjoyed this shoe review, if you enjoyed me skating the Snake, definitely leave a like to this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure you check out the playlist. Maybe there's a shoe in there that you guys have wanted to skate and you wanted to see what I thought about the shoe. Check it out. I have more than 100 shoes in that shoe review playlist. So definitely go on ahead and check it out if you want to see some shoe reviews that I may have done in the past. Make today your day. It's Jay Skate Day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.